Hello, 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 students, teachers, welcome. This is day 2 of our series for Computer Science Education Week. We are coding with Googlers today. We get to take a game and make it our own. I'm pretty excited. I think you can tell. We've got Sandy here from Google, who we'll introduce in a second. I think she's pretty excited too. And we have Googlers backstage. It's going to be awesome. But let's slow down just for a moment. Always, I love that we start things just thinking about the land that we are on. So I would love you right now, think about this land that you are on. If you've got a window, look outside. It's sunny here. We've got some snow. But what beautiful territory that we are able to be on wherever you are. I'm here in Canada, in Calgary. This is Treaty 7 territory, lands of the Blackfoot, Piikani, Kainai, Tsuut'ina, Stoney Nakoda, Métis. Wow, think about what the lands were like way before me and just take thanks in being able to be here now. So if you haven't had a chance to check out that link that you see on the page, native-land.ca, an amazing resource to help you learn more about the lands that you are on. All right, let's get through the housekeeping stuff so we can get coding. I'm Michelle. I already told you I'm in Calgary. I work for the Cobblestone Collective, which is a group of teachers that like to teach all of you all things about technology. And we work directly with Google Canada. And so we're thrilled to be able to do all of this work with them. Okay, what are we doing today? We're going to meet some Tooglers. What is a Toogler, you might ask? Some of you might know. Sandy's going to tell us what Tooglers are. We're going to meet them. We're going to start looking at some code in our favorite games. We're going to mess up that code, and then we're going to show it off, and that will be that. So if you have not been with us before, teachers, this is likely information for you. This is YouTube Live. Woohoo! Maybe you're watching the recording. So glad you found us. At any point, you can pause if we are going too fast. So don't hesitate. Pause, rewind, replay this as many times as you like. It will be there for you. Now, you can communicate with us, students. Some of you already know this, but those that don't, right now, in a new tab on your device, I want you to type in the cc.page/CS first. I'm even going to put it down below so you can see it for real big. That is a Google form. You can communicate with us. Let us know what's your name and what grade are you in. So one last time, go to a new tab, type in that link. Let us know what's your name. What grade are you in? Mia is already here. Michael is here. James is here. Shad is here. Who wants a shout out? Shad, there's your shout out. Natalie is here. James is here. And Daryl is here. James is in grade 6. Fabulous. Students, keep it coming. Let us know who's here. Speaking about who's here, Sandy Curry is here from Google. Welcome, Sandy.
Hello, good morning, Michelle, and educators and students. Happy Computer Science Education Week. Like Michelle said, this is part 2 of our 3 days of Hour of Code with all of you, whether you're just joining us once or all 3 times or getting that recording. We're just happy to have the opportunity to show off coding, to play around with some coding, introduce you to some Googlers, Tooglers. So what is a Toogler? Before I do that, Michelle, look at all of these students. We have Annika, Lavinia, Tori, Mohammed, Samuel. We have Gavin, William, Kate, Daniel, Abran, Jesse, Reed, lots of students. And it looks like mostly grade 6, maybe a couple of grade 7 so far. So like Michelle said, I am Sandy Curry, and I'm the STEM Computer Science Outreach Program Manager for Google Canada, which just means I get to hang out with all of you and help you do a little bit of coding in your class connected to the curriculum and across the curriculum, but even more fun with Googlers. So, Michelle, maybe we can just start bringing out those Googlers. So today we have here with us Let me see who's going to pop up first. We have Catherine. Good morning, Catherine. We have Soud. Hi, Soud. And we have Leonard. Good morning, Leonard. So Catherine, Soud, and Leonard are all Googlers. They work at Google, so that's what we call them, Googlers. But today, they are helping to teach you and your teachers, so we also call them Tooglers. And so today, you're going to get to play with them, you're going to get to code with them, you're going to get to find some existing code, figure out how to manipulate that code, and turn it into your very own. And so with that, Michelle, I think probably I should head into the back of the broadcast studio. Let you guys focus on the coding. I'm going to be watching, and I want to pop out later and see what's been going on. All right?
That sounds great, Sandy. We will see you a little bit later. Tooglers, you get to stay with me. You're going to be my students today. So we have a question for you, Toogler students, and for you, students out there. Here is your very first question you need to answer for us today. What is your favorite game? So maybe it's a game on the computer. Maybe you even have a cell phone. It's a game on your cell phone. Maybe it's a board game. Maybe it's who knows what. Let us know in the form, what is your favorite game? Oh my goodness, these students are quick. I have a whole bunch of answers in the form already, but let's start with you, Leonard. What is your favorite game?
Oh, one game I like is Pong.
Pong.
It's nice and simple, but then there's also an old Atari game called Warlords, which has like 4 different players and like you have to defend your castle, which is kind of similar idea to Pong, but a bit
I
more
hadn't
complicated.
heard of Warlords. I do know of Pong. I don't know if our students know Pong. Teachers probably do. Okay, well, keep that thought, Leonard. We might work with those favorite games. Sod, what's your favorite game?
I grew up on Mario Kart, so that's my favorite game.
Right, of course. Look at this, Ethan. Ethan loves the whole Mario franchise. So Ethan, Sod, you guys are on the same wavelength. Love it. Before we get to you, Catherine, we got to give these shout outs. We have so many students here. So Edwin in grade 5 loves Minecraft. Kayan, Roblox. Nathan, Minecraft. Natasha, Roblox. Roblox for Samantha as well. Ooh, Alexa, what if we don't play games? Hey, it doesn't have to be a video game. Maybe it's crossword puzzles. Maybe it's Sudoku. Maybe it's word searches. So think of a game you love. All right, Catherine, what's your favorite game?
Well, I myself don't play a lot of video games, but one game I do like to play on my phone was called Fruit Ninja. So I don't know if you've heard of that one, but you slice the fruit on the screen. So that's a fun one I like.
I have heard of Fruit Ninja for sure. Okay, we have so many students here. We got some grade 7. So Vithusha in grade 7 loves Subway Surfers. FIFA 23, Abran. Interesting. I bet you're watching the World Cup. We have all sorts of games. Okay, students, have no fear. We are going to get back to that form. We will hopefully give you a shout out. Apologies if we don't, but I think we should get started coding. Students, what we're going to do today, we are going to find code for our favorite game, and we're kind of going to hack it. We're going to modify that code to make it our own. And that's actually going to be pretty easy. Tooglers, are you ready to go? I'm going to give you some quick instructions. Then I'm going to let you guys go do your thing. Students, here are the instructions for you as well. I'm going to go over these steps twice, so have no fear. But step 1, we're going to go over to Scratch MIT. So I'm going to put that banner up there for you so you can see it as well. You know what I might even do? Tooglers, I'll put you backstage just so that you guys can get to work. Students, you see a link on your page right now. You're going to go into a new tab. We are going to the Scratch library, which has so many pre-programmed games inside Scratch that we can work with. So you're going to go into scratch.mit.edu. You are then going to go into that search bar and search for your favorite game. So maybe Catherine is searching Fruit Ninja right now. Maybe Leonard is searching Pong. Who knows what they're searching for? But you want to find code for a game that you're going to then go and manipulate. Today, I'm going to choose Candy Crush. So if you want to follow me exactly, you can also choose Candy Crush. But students, I encourage you, grab any game that means something to you, and then we're going to show you how you can modify that code to make it something new. Okay, so you're going to scratchmit.edu. You are looking for your favorite game, but then we got to make sure that this code is appropriate. Once we're ready, we're going to start working with that code. So I am going to pop back over to a different screen. I'm going to go through those steps again one more time for you. If you have any questions, students, post them in the form. Teachers, as I mentioned, you could pause at any point, but I'm going to go through those steps one more time. Basically, what we are doing, we are looking in the Scratch library for our favorite game. In my case, my favorite game is Candy Crush. Maybe I'll even zoom in a little bit so you can all see that a little better. So I'm at scratch.mit.edu. I'm searching for my favorite game. I'm not even logged into Scratch. That's pretty cool. I go in here and whoa, there are so many people who have programmed Candy Crush and they're sharing it for anybody who wants to use it. What we need to make sure to do, though, we need to make sure that this code, that it's appropriate code. We assume, the creators have followed all copyright rules, but they're sharing this now publicly for any of us to use it. So once you've searched for your code, you want to click on one of them that looks like it might be a good piece of code for you to start with. So maybe I'm going to remove, scratchmit.edu. I'm going to take that off of here so you can see my screen a little bit more. So when you look inside the code, so I went and I clicked. So let me go back just to show you what I did, just in case you missed it. I see all of these versions of Candy Crush. Students, if you want to choose Candy Crush and follow me exactly, go for it. Might make things easier. But those of you that are brave and want to go out on your own, you got this. So you've searched for your game. Pick one of them that you think looks super fun. When you click on that game, the first thing you need to look at is this appropriate for you? We assume everybody in the Scratch library is posting appropriate stuff, but it's up to you to determine, is this appropriate code? A couple of ways that you can see that. My code has 3,900 likes. So we've got over almost 4,000 people like it. Over 3,000 people have favorited it. A bunch of people have remixed it, and a whole bunch of people have viewed it. So I feel confident that this is good code. Otherwise, someone probably would have flagged it, right? You can also scroll down and you can look at the comments just to make sure that all of the comments there are appropriate. So if you have found code, you believe that it's good code for you to use today, you are then going to click See Inside. All right, students. So once you have done that, you need to let me know in the forum, yes, I have my code. We're going to come back to our tublers and check in with them. So students, you've searched for your code. You've said See Inside. And then let us know in the forum, I've got my code. Catherine, Sod, and Leonard, a thumbs up. Do you have your code? Now, here's a question for you, just while we're waiting for students to get caught up. Let's maybe go with you, Leonard. So we're taking existing code right now today, and we're just going to play around with it. You code in your day job. Do you typically start with a set of code, or do you just start from nothing?
It really depends on the project I'm working on. Right now, I'm working on converting a feature from existing code to a new language.
Ooh, and remind me, what team do you work on at Google?
I work on modem software, so that's the cellular modems that run on the phones and other devices.
Aha, so if we have internet, if we have a modem, chances are good you know the coding that goes into that. That is super, super cool. Okay, well, I love you brought up languages. We're going to talk about that in a second. I'm just going to check in with our students. Oh my goodness. Marathon has their code. Preston's got their code. Ethan, Lila, Eva, Kylie, Natasha, Sawyer, Luca, Nathan. Wow, you guys are amazing. We've got our code. Tooglers, I'm going to put you backstage again, and we're going to keep coding. Here we go. So students, what we're going to do today is we're going to be looking at this code, and we're just going to be changing things so that way we can make the code our own. So if you're super comfortable and you just want to start hacking away, go for it. I'm going to walk through things slowly so you can follow me. But whoa, wait, my code isn't saving. I want to make sure that my code is there for me later. The best way to do that is we want to download our code, and best case, we want to put it over into our CS First account. Now, if you don't have CS First, totally okay. Don't worry. I'm going to show you a plan B. But students, here's how you save your code just in case your computer dies on you. And I'm also going to show you how to bring it into CS First so it stays there forever and ever and your teacher has access. So right now, students, eyes up on the screen. If you want to save your code to your computer, you are going to go File, Save to your computer. But wait, sometimes there's not enough room on your computer, so you might get an error. If that happens, it's all good. We'll just not worry about saving today, but give it a try. Let's just see if you're going to be able to save that code, just so you know, if I want to save it, at least I know how. So give that a try right now, students. File menu, save to your computer. Once you have that saved to your computer, okay, cool. It's there. You can bring it up later. But this is what I want to show you next, is how to bring that code inside CS First. That way your teacher sees it, they can share it with your other classmates, and it's going to save automatically. Like I mentioned, if you don't have CS First, no worries at all. But we just want to get through this here quick so that you have it for later. So I've saved my program to my computer. And there it is. I'm remembering where I saved it. Then I go over to CS First. If you have a CS First account, you already know how to log in. Hopefully you're already logged in. We mentioned it to your teachers to have you logged in, but no worries. If you're not logged in yet, take a moment. You're going to csfirst.google.com and then get yourself logged in. One more time, students. If you don't have a CS First account, just hold tight. Don't worry about this step, but this for sure is those that have CS First. We want to make sure you can save your work. So we are going to CS First. We're logged in. We're going to click that amazing plus button. We are going to create a new project, ba-bum, which opens just a blank scratch project. And now here, students, is how you bring that code into your CS First so it saves in there forever and ever. you are going to go into the file menu. Once it loads, there it is. So, my screen is too big. I can't see the file menu. There it is. So once you open a new project, when you go File, Load from my computer, that's where you can find that file that you just saved. And in my case, it's in my downloads. There it is, my Candy Crush. I go ahead and open that. And it's going to say, I think, are you sure? But now Candy Crush is saved in my CS First. Teachers, that's a really great part. If you want to pause this video, rewind that, or come back to it later, that's a great way just to make sure that those files are saved inside CS First. All right, students, if you do not have CS First, here is what you do instead. We go back to, this is our scratch where we found our code. Guess what? We can edit this code even without saving. So if you don't have CS First, we're still going to get coding, even though we might not be able to save it. That is okay. We're still going to do some cool learning. I'm going to check the form just real quick to see. It looks like you guys all have your code. Carlo in grade 6. Yes, you can get a shout out. I'm glad you've got your code. Anna is here. Anthony, Veronica, Jenica, Sophia in grade 6 has saved it. Yay. Well, let's get coding already. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run my code. So students on your end, go ahead and run your code. I do have some audio on this, but that's okay. We'll get to audio in a little bit. But all right, I've run my code and I see there are some super cute little candies, but instead of doing candies, I think I want to change those. So to change any of your sprites, if you're working in Candy Crush, yours looks exactly like mine. But if you're not in Candy Crush, take a look at your sprites. How many sprites do you have? I only have one sprite. What? Well, one sprite with candies. The rest are just part of the background and things. But I'm like, wait a second. Where's all the rest of my candies? If you can't find some of those icons that you see, go up and look into, let's minimize this a smidge. You want to be going over to costumes. So students, pick a sprite, go into your costumes and take a peek. What's over there? Oh, there's where all of my candies are. We're going to take a moment now and I'm going to show you how you can change those costumes, which is going to ultimately change what you see in your program. So if you are ready with me, we're going to change our sprite's costume. You've gone into the costumes tab. We are going to go down to the little kitty cat over in the left-hand side. So take a look up at the screen. Look where I am, left-hand side. We're going to choose a new costume. And inside my costumes, I think I want to change my candies to, let's go, butterflies would be nice. I could put the scratch cat in there. Actually, let's put in a cat. So I am going to pick a cat. You can pick whatever costume you want. But now what you'll notice, so students, you went into your costumes, you added a new costume, and then now I have my cat flying. But wait a second, my cat didn't show up over my code because my code isn't calling my cat. My code doesn't tell the cat to appear. So I'm going to show you how to make that cat appear. We are going to just copy the cat and replace one of my other candies with the cat. So let's do this. So students, I recommend stop what you're doing right now. Take a look up on the screen just so you can wrap your head around how to change this. So I've inserted my cat costume. I'm just going to outline my whole cat. So I'm selecting my cat. I'm going to right click on that. And I'm going to copy that cat. And then I'm just going to paste it. So I'm going to go up to my red candy. I'm going to get rid of my red candy. Same thing. I'm going to highlight it. Delete that red candy. And then paste. Right click. Right click. There it is. Paste isn't there. Oh no. How do I paste? I think some of you students know this. Control V is going to allow you to paste. So Control V or Command V, there should be my cat. Oh, of course, something's not working. Let's go back. We're going to copy our cat. Maybe I forgot to actually say copy image. Let's go back up to our red candy. We are going to go paste. Wow, well, isn't that interesting? Something is not working, of course, because I chose to use a different computer. And I'm going to try one last time. But hopefully, students, I want you to let me know in the form. Did you get copy and paste to work? Oh, phew. It worked. Thank goodness. And so I went Control C, Control V to make mine work. And now you're going to notice your new sprite is in your code. So that, students, is how you can start changing the costumes of your sprites. I'm going to check in with our Tooglers. Teachers, again, one more time. If that was too quick, feel free to pause. Your students can get caught up. All we did, we inserted a new costume. We copied that costume and pasted it over one of the existing costumes. Ta-da, it's now in my code. Theo, thank you for trying to help me with my copy paste. Allison, I'm so glad that copy paste worked for you. Lila, I appreciate you trying to help me out as well. Sometimes we run into problems, and thankfully we've got people around us helping us. All right, Catherine, Sod, Leonard, I'm assuming you guys are deep into getting your programs sorted. Sod, I'm going to ask you a question. Sod, you do computer programming in your day job every day. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Is there ever a time in your coding that you're modifying images at all?
Modifying images, not lately in my day job, but I did that a lot in like university assignments.
Okay. Okay, I'll ask you one more question. Do you work in different languages of code?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I do.
What are some languages?
So Python, C++, JavaScript. I'd say those are the main three, but I have worked with
Wow.
others as well.
And I love that. And Jean-Luc had asked earlier, Jean-Luc, thank you for your question, wondering, okay, wait, Python, JavaScript, what's the difference? All of these languages, we can't get into what's the difference, but Saad, do you speak any other languages, like outside of coding, just in real life? Do you speak other languages?
Yeah, so I speak English, I speak Urdu, and I speak and write a bit of and read Arabic, a bit of Arabic, and then a bit of French too, from what I learned in school. So
Okay. I wonder if everybody sees kind of where I'm going with this. We can speak different languages, we can code different languages, but ultimately, to be able to do that, we got to be able to read those languages, right, Saad?
right.
All right. Students, Tooglers, we're going to dive in and we're going to just talk a little bit more about how do we start reading these languages. So, Tooglers, I'll let you go back, continue your working. We are going to start looking at our code and seeing, do we know how to read this language? Ooh, let's see. All right, so we're over in our costumes, but to be able to read our code, we've got to go back to our code. Oh boy, this code is very complicated. It's like if I open up a textbook and all of a sudden I don't know how to read yet. Let's imagine I'm opening up an Arabic textbook. Saad might know how to read it, but me, maybe I only know a few words in Arabic. So same thing goes for code. You might not know all of these words or all of these blocks in your code, but start taking a look through your code. What words do you know? In my case is I can see when I receive setup. Okay, so there must be a variable in there somewhere. Oh, look at this. I've got greater than and less than. So look through your code, and I want you to point out what parts of that code do you understand? What parts of that code can you read? You might have to go through some of your other sprites to find code that makes sense. For me, this is like, wow, super complicated. I'm going to go to a new sprite. I'm going to look at that code. Oh, that looks easy. Okay, well, something is going to the position on the page. Okay, I still don't know exactly what that's all about. Let's go to the score bar. Oh, okay. Still not much there. I'm going to go into bar 1. Let's see what's in there. Oh, wait a second. I found something that I understand. Okay, students, hopefully you, like me, found code that makes sense to you. If so, hopefully you have an idea of how you can change that code. For me, look at the code I found. I found the code start sound. I can go into this code. Oh, I've got some different sounds in there that I can change. Do you have code somewhere in the code you're looking at? Is it calling different sounds? If so, I'm going to show you how we can change those sounds. Okay, so students, if you want to just keep going on your own, you go right ahead. But those of you that want to see how you can change your sounds, now is the time to get eyes back up on the screen at the front, because we're going to change some sounds. So I found inside one of my sprites, sometimes you have to look through different sprites to find your code. I found inside my sprite, I can start a sound. It's game start 2. Okay, well, let's look over into our sounds menu. So if you go into your sounds menu, oh, look at that. There's game start 2, game start 1. I can add sounds. So let me go ahead. I'm going to choose a new sound. I want my code to meow when the game starts. So I'm going to find meow. Let's go ahead and put that in there. And now let's just take a look. I'm going to mute my So we can take a look through the sound library. We can pick whatever sounds we want. In my case, I have a cat meowing. Now, back to where I could read my code. I know, wait a second. If I want to start the sound meow, now when my code runs, it's going to meow instead of playing that initial sound. Hopefully that makes sense. Curtis, thank you so much. Curtis says he gets everything that I'm saying. Yay. Let's check in with our Tooglers. We only have about 5 minutes left of coding. Tooglers, We've changed some sounds. We're starting looking at the code, the words of the code. What else? Catherine, how are things going for you over there?
Things are going good. Yeah, I have also tried changing the look of the sprites and things like that. Yeah.
And now, do you do coding in your everyday life as well?
I do, yes.
What coding language do you use typically?
I use mostly Java and some Python. Yeah.
Oh, nice. What else? We've only got about 4 minutes left. Any other suggestions on what I can do next?
Well, you've changed, the images and the sounds. I wonder if there's anything we can change in terms of the functionality of the code or something along those lines.
That gets trickier, doesn't it? You sort of have to understand how to
It
read
definitely
that
gets
code better
trickier.
and more too, don't you? I like the challenge though,
For
Catherine.
sure.
I think I'm going to totally hack my code so that I get the high score every time. I'm going to see if I can change the
Ooh.
scoring. So, all right. Tooglers, we'll let you get back at it. Students, how are you going to challenge yourself to look deeper into that code? Can you change the functionality of that code? Let's see if I can do it. We've only got a couple of minutes. I've looked through this code before. I know there is a variable called score. So I want to go in and I want to change that score. But you know what's funny? The score variable, it doesn't show up in my sprites. There's code hiding somewhere else. And I want students, if you know where else I can look to find code. So if I'm looking for something and it's not in my sprites, where else might that code be hiding? So Chloe wanted a shout out. Noelle wanted a shout out. Noelle, Chloe, do you know where else I can look to find code? Sally thinks this is fun. Awesome. Well, students, Cadmiel thinks we should change the movement. That's a great suggestion. Thank you for that. So students, I think it'll probably start coming into the form. So I want you to know as well in the background. So you see this stage? If you click on the stage, ta-da! There is a whole lot more code for everything hiding in the background. So if you are looking for something in particular, in my case, I'm looking for the score. And you might find it inside the background. And look at this. Inside my background code, there it is. Set score to 0. I can set my score to start at, the high score is like 3,900 or 30,000. What if I set my score to start at 30,000? Nice. I think I'm going to get high score. But maybe there are other places where you're going to find that variable score. So take a look through your code. What kind of things can you change? And are you able to read and understand that code to know, this is going to work? So I'm going to look. I'm going to show you one more quick last trick. And then we're going to go in and see what code our Googlers did. But students, if you're looking for a word in your code, sometimes it's hard to just keep scrolling and scrolling. So eyes up on the screen, I'm going to give you a pro tip. If I press Control F, or if you're on a Mac computer, it's Command F. But look what happens. When I press Control F or Command F, I get a search box. Boom. I can search for the word score. It's going to highlight it in yellow for me. So now when I'm looking through my code, if I'm looking specifically for that variable, hopefully it's easier for me to see because it's highlighted in yellow. Let's just go and see if we can find that highlighted in yellow. It is there. I promise you. I promise you. Down below, I think. But that's just a tip, students. If you're looking for specific words in your code, if you go Control F or Command F, that's going to highlight those words in yellow for you, making them a little bit easier to see. All right, well, with that, we're going to check back into our tugglers, see what they coded. My code, we changed the images, we changed the sound, we went in and changed how it was scoring. I know that if I had more time, I could totally go in and make some more changes to the scoring. But alas, we are out of time right now. Students, it's time for us to see what our tugglers coded. I kind of think Sandy might want to come back and see what our tugglers coded. Leonard, Saad, Catherine, you're probably like all the students out there saying, no, don't make me stop. But we have to stop. Students, you'll definitely want to stop so you can see the code that our tugglers did. Sandy, what'd you think?
So much fun. Absolutely love that Catherine, Saud, and Leonard have these games that they're digging into, reading, manipulating a little bit, making their own, right? Like we've all consumed games before, but I've never had the opportunity to go in and make it personalized to me. So can't wait to see what they've got.
Awesome. Well, how about, do we have a student that would like to volunteer to go first, Catherine, Sauter, Leonard, or do I just pick on one of you?
I can go first. I don't mind.
Nice. Awesome, Catherine. Go ahead and share your screen.
Right.
Students, we're going to tell you a little bit later how you can share your projects with us too. So hopefully you're the one there like, pick me. I want to show my code. Well, we've got Catherine right now representing, ready to go first. So Catherine, we see your screen. You want to zoom in a little bit on that code?
All right. Yes, let me zoom in. So the code we're looking at here is just the code under the classic game. So that's what we'll be playing today. So the code for Fruit Ninja is a little bit complicated. There are a lot of pieces. A lot of the sprites have different pieces of code. But one thing I wanted to highlight was the blocks here. So the red blocks, you can see they're kind of used here. Like when it starts, it says start waves. I hope this is big enough. Let me zoom in a little more. Start waves. But how does the code know what that means? You can define that block here. So when start waves is called, it basically calls all of this code. So it's almost like a nice little way to reuse and organize the code. So I made a couple changes to this, mostly aesthetic changes. I changed the background and I had it change when it's when it goes to game over. And then I also changed the blade. So when you slice the fruit, it used to just be pixels, and I tried to make it a fairy wand when I do that. But let me make this bigger and then we can see. All right, so this is Fruit Ninja. I made it a nice winter background because it felt seasonal. So if we play classic game, you can see when I slice, it comes up with a wand there. You can slice the fruits. And then you can see in the top left-hand corner, it's keeping track of the score. So if I miss 3, oh, I missed a couple, then it'll end. So let's say, oh, game over. Oh, and now we're on the beach.
Nice. I love it. I love how you just put your own personality into that too, right? Like a magic wand. Of course, it's brilliant. So students out there, let us know in the form. What did you change? We had Theodore in grade 6, FIFA 23, added sound effects, got sound effects when you win a game. The rest of you out there, students, let us know, how did you modify your code? Okay, up next, I think we'll go with you, Leonard. Let's get you to share your screen. Let us know, what do you got?
I chose a simple ping pong game which had 2 paddles on the sides, and then I added a 3rd player. So now Instead of just the two playing against each other, there's the third one. Unfortunately, I still haven't figured out a good way to score things, because before it was you got a point if you scored on the other person, but now with 3 players, there has to be a different type of scoring system.
But that's so great. So you really went in and completely modified how that code works. You still have questions. You've still got troubleshooting you're going to have to do. Leonard, like in your regular day job, is that kind of the way things go?
Oh yeah,
Like,
if you don't remember to consider something ahead of time, then yeah, you have to figure it out as you go.
right? Well, there you go. Students, I love it. Thank you for your responses. Abran changed the sprites in Candy Crush to Ronaldo and Messi. I love it. Let's just see. So Adeli is using Animal Crossing. Change the background. Oh, and then you use stuffed animals. Someone did that. Excellent. Keep going, students. Let us know in the forum, what did you code? With that, we have Saad. Let's go ahead and share your screen.
Right, so I was doing Mario Kart, and initially I just wanted to go into, you know, the background code and try to figure out how to make my kart specifically go the fastest so that I always win. But I couldn't really figure out how to do that. I did actually figure out how to make me like super huge, like giant compared to the other people, but that kind of just broke the game. So I switched gears a bit, and I didn't want to change any of these sprites because they're kind of iconic characters. But I did change this pipe to a milk carton. So you can probably see. Oh, actually, never mind. But anyways, we can see that in the game. Hopefully it works. So we're in the game now. Check this out. So these are the pipes, but they're milk cartons now, and they're stopping. And so yeah, that's basically it while I was playing around with it. Didn't get to do what I actually wanted to do, but I think given a bit more time looking into the code, I probably, and you guys would probably be able to do it as well to make your cart go faster, do even more fun stuff. So yeah, that's it.
And that's so, so cool. And I think that's probably the sentiment to all students out there right now is like, I didn't get a chance to do everything I wanted to do, but hopefully you got a little bit of something done. Sandy, what do you think?
I'm so excited to see the way that these games can be manipulated. And so Leonard, so this takes me way back, but Pong for sure was the first sort of video game that I ever played. And we actually had to like use the dials on our TV to kind of make it go. So just to see the way you've manipulated it, you've added some color, you've made it your own. I mean, I didn't have any of that opportunity. Catherine, I just love, like, sometimes I thought some of the games were maybe, they didn't really speak to me, but as soon as you added that magic wand, it's like, oh, that's fun. And especially landing on the beach at the end. And so 1992, Mario Kart. That was when my son was born. So that takes me back a few years too. But just how much you made that your own, right? So all of these opportunities, students, to take existing code, to read them a little bit, and to play around, manipulate them, be creative, be a creator, and not just a consumer of something that somebody else coded. Absolutely loving it.
Awesome. Well, and Sandy, I think we're going to definitely go in and have a little bit of final words of advice from our Tooglers. But before we do, thank you, students, as well, for adding what you coded. We have, sorry, I just want to make sure. So Zena changed the sprites. Cadmiel changed the backgrounds. Let us know in the forum, students, what did you change? But also, let's give some feedback to Saad, Catherine, and Leonard. Let them know how they did, because we certainly want to give them your feedback. Well, with that, Sandy, why don't you take it over for this final word?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, students and educators, I hope that you will join me in a virtual round of applause for Catherine, Saad, and Leonard for joining us. These are Googlers who are supposed to be off working on their other coding projects, reading code, manipulating code, and we bring them out and put them in front of you so that you can have real life examples of people using code in their daily lives. So Catherine, Saud, and Leonard, thank you very much. And so, Leonard, I'm going to start with you. If you had a final word, it's Computer Science Education Week. It's Hour of Code, where we've got students and educators in front of us. Regarding computer science and coding, Leonard, what would be your final word for our students and educators today?
Just working on this reminded me that how if you try to modify an existing project, you can learn a lot more about the language that it's written in.
Yeah, so you don't always have to start from scratch, so to speak, right? You can build on what's there. Love it, Leonard. Thank you very much. All right, Catherine, I'm going to go to you. So we've got lots of students out there, and I'm sure we have lots of girls out there too that are kind of excited to see, Catherine, that you're a Googler, that you're working at Google, and you sort of help to make that code, speak to you. And so, if you had a final word for our students and our educators today, what would it be?
Yeah, I would say I hope that you saw today how creative coding can be, how many possibilities there are with it, because you really never know where it could take you. I think when people think of coding, they think of a very specific thing, and really there are just so many applications. So I would say, keep that in mind, and it's a useful skill to accomplish, many different things that you might want to in the future.
Perfect, Catherine. And let me just ask, so Leonard, Saad, and Catherine, you're all on different teams at Google, am I right? You're all on different teams. And so
Yeah.
you might use different languages depending on what project or what team. Would that make sense?
Mhm.
And let me
Yep.
just ask you, if you ever sort of weren't really enjoying the team that you were on, maybe you weren't learning as much as you thought you could, would you have an opportunity to switch teams or to switch projects within Google?
Yeah,
I
there's
see by
definitely a lot of opportunity to move around at Google. It's a very big company, and there's a lot of different products and things to work on. So, you could probably switch teams every year and never get bored because there's always something new.
Awesome. And Saad and Leonard, same thing, lots of opportunity for you to change. And so that means probably with each project and with each team, whether it's at Google or whether it's at a different company, whether it's a tech company or whether it's a company where you're using tech, there's lots and lots of opportunities for you to read, write, and manipulate code. Am I right? Awesome. All right, Saad. Saad, this is your first time joining us as a toogler in one of our live stream sessions with students watching us from across Canada. It's Hour of Code. It's Computer Science Education Week. Saad, what would your final word be for our students?
I would probably say that if this was your first exposure to coding in computer science and you found it a bit daunting or you found it a bit confusing, I know that was my initial reaction when I first started. I would say not to worry too much and really just don't give up on it because of that, and you'll probably thank yourself later.
That's great advice. If you don't succeed, try again. Can I just ask a couple of questions really? I'm going to do a really quick lightning round if that's okay. So Leonard, computer science language that you use most at Google?
C++.
Saud?
C++.
Catherine?
Java.
Second question, subject that you think in school that students might want to continue to persevere at if they're thinking about maybe something in computer science moving forward. Saud, let me start with you. What subject or subjects in school do we want to make sure that we're kind of sticking to?
Well, so obviously computer science or computer science related courses. I also think But I also know that a lot of programs, they require like, you to know math. So focus on your math, calculus, and all that. Don't drop that. And yeah, I think those two for sure, and
Love it.
whatever else you might like. It
All
just
right, so making sure that you're pursuing something that you have an interest in, but that math,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know in Ontario, computer science is part of the math curriculum now, and hopefully
Hmm.
starting to spread out across Canada. Catherine, subjects that you would encourage kids to stay connected to?
I would definitely agree. If you have computer science classes at your school, that's awesome. For me, I didn't have that opportunity until university, but definitely I took a lot of math courses, and that helped as I transitioned into taking computer science in university.
Awesome. Leonard, what about you?
Yeah, I would agree with computer science and math as well. And in addition, I actually have I did a drama minor while I was in school, so I studied written drama as well. So language really helps with the understanding the formation of a computer programming language as well.
Awesome. Love that. So thank you very much to our Tuglers, Catherine, Sod, and Leonard for joining us today. Educators and students, thank you for joining us. I'm going to pass it back over to Michelle.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you, educators, students. I've got a couple last minute details, but before we get to that, we have grade 3-4s in the house. Miss M's grade 3-4 classes here, changed sounds and costumes. Amazing job, grade 3-4s. Alexis and Leah, they also agreed it was a bit daunting, a little bit confusing. So Sod, great advice for them. All right, students, we want to see your programs as well. Your teachers have an email where they can find out how to send your code to us. So if you've saved your code to your computer, your teacher can then send that code to us and we can put it in our public showcase. We would love to see it. And do you want to keep coding, students? I think I can hear most of you from here. Teachers, if you want to continue coding in your classroom, we're back tomorrow with another group of Tuglers. We're going to be doing basically the same thing. But if you want to allow your students more time to code, just check out the Cobblestone Collective website and sign up for tomorrow's lesson. Maybe you already have. But most importantly, starting in January, we are running the whole Coding Across the Curriculum series again. Almost every single Tuesday, we have Tuglers with us, coding in math, coding in science, coding in language arts. Check the Cobblestone Collective website. It'll also be in your email, teachers, but there's so much coding to be done. So we sure hope that you will join us. And for the final word, I turn it back to Sandy.
All right. Well, educators, students, Googlers, we hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thank you for joining us for Hour of Code Computer Science Education Week. Please continue coding. And with that, happy coding, everyone.